Today we're going to look at the four parts of every AI loop. This is one of the simplest frameworks you can learn, and it's also one of the most useful. The reason this matters is simple. Many people think an AI automation is just one instruction followed by one result. In reality, the most reliable automations work as loops. A loop means the system keeps moving through a series of steps until a clear goal has been reached. If the goal is not reached, the loop continues instead of stopping too early. Once you understand these four parts, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Whether it's handling emails, reviewing documents, or helping customers, the same pattern appears again and again. Let's build this on the whiteboard one step at a time. Start by drawing 4 empty boxes in a row. Leave a little space between each one. Label the first box, Trigger. Label the second box, Action. Label the third box, Verification. Label the fourth box, Exit Condition. Now draw an arrow from the first box to the second, then another arrow to the third. Finally, draw one more arrow to the fourth. These 4 boxes form one complete AI loop. Let's go through each one carefully. We'll use a simple example throughout the lesson. Imagine you have an AI assistant helping you manage your email inbox. The first part is the trigger. A trigger is the event that starts the loop. Nothing happens until the trigger occurs. Think of it like a doorbell. The bell rings, and only then do you walk to the door. Without the bell, you stay where you are. So inside the trigger box, write, New email arrives. That's the event that wakes up the automation. Notice something important. The trigger is not the work itself. It only tells the system that it's time to begin. Now, draw an arrow to the second box. This box is called Action. The action is the task the AI performs after the trigger happens. In our example, write inside the box, Draft a reply. The AI reads the email, understands the questions, and prepares a response. This is where many people focus all their attention. They think the action is the whole automation, but it isn't. If the AI writes a poor reply or misses an important question, stopping here would create problems. That's why every good loop has another step. Draw an arrow to the third box. This box is verification. Verification means checking whether the action actually achieved what you wanted. Think of it like a teacher marking homework. Finishing the homework is one thing. Checking whether the answers are correct is another. For our email example, write 2 questions inside this box. Does it answer every question? Is the tone appropriate? Those checks are important because they measure quality, not just completion. Maybe the AI forgot one question in the email. Maybe the reply sounds too formal. Maybe it misunderstood what the sender meant. Verification catches those issues before the process finishes. Here's the key idea. AI is good at producing drafts. Verification decides whether those drafts are good enough. Now let's move to the final box. Draw one last arrow. Label this box Exit Condition. An exit condition is the rule that tells the loop when it can stop. Write this inside the box. Send only if verification passes. That sentence controls the whole process. If the verification succeeds, the email is sent and the loop ends. If the verification fails, something different happens. Draw another arrow from the exit condition box back to the action box. This arrow creates the loop. If the reply doesn't pass the checks, the AI goes back, improves the draft, and tries again. Then it returns to verification. If it still doesn't pass, it revises again. The loop continues until the exit condition is finally satisfied. Notice that the system isn't repeating work for no reason. It's repeating work because it has a clear standard to meet. That difference is important. Let's walk through the complete example from beginning to end. Picture an email arriving from a customer. The customer asks 3 questions about pricing, delivery time, and refunds. The trigger fires because a new email has arrived. The AI reads the message and drafts a reply. Next comes verification. The system checks whether all 3 questions were answered. It checks whether the tone sounds polite and professional. It might also check whether the reply follows company guidelines. Suppose it discovers that the refund question was missed. The verification step fails. Because it failed, the exit condition is not met. So the email is not sent. Instead, the loop returns to the action step. The AI rewrites the reply and includes the missing refund information. Now the verification runs again. This time, every question is answered. The tone is correct. The quality checks all pass. Now the exit condition is satisfied. The email is sent. The loop ends. Nothing about this process depends on email specifically. If you replace the email with a document, a customer support ticket, or a scheduling request, the same structure still works. So to recap, every AI loop has 4 parts. A trigger starts the process. An action performs the work. Verification checks the quality. The exit condition decides whether to finish or go around the loop again. If you ever feel lost while building an automation, draw these 4 boxes first. They give you a simple way to think about almost any AI workflow. Save this framework. It works for any automation. And if you're following the Logic Base Academy curriculum, subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson, where we'll continue building on these ideas one step at a time.